Hi there, welcome to another video of mine. In this video, we will be focusing on P1 and P2. Now you will see at the bottom here, as this is problem solving, in this unit, the mastery strand attached to it is generating, which means of course we will need to generate an extra piece of information in our question before continue. We'll get to that in just a moment. Now before we move on to the example, a model example on P1. First of all, I'd like to recap the last learning outcome of the fluency, which was F6. Again, the steps on the right hand side is exactly the same. First and foremost, we form the equation and then we substitute to find the value of k, and then we substitute k back into step 1 to find the final answer. So here goes. So y is inversely proportional to x cubed, y inversely proportional to x cubed. We can now form the equation, which would look like this. This is step 1. Step 2, substitute. 5 equal, we're trying to find k over value of x is 2, so 2 to the power of 3 will be 8. Multiply by 8 on both sides, so k is equal to 40. This here is step 2. Now step 3, I substitute 40 back into step 1 here. So y would equal 40 over x cubed. And this is the answer. Moving on to P1. Now, it looks very similar to what we've done before. So, m is directly proportional to t squared, m equals 32 and t is equal to 2. So again, the steps in this question is very similar to what we have learned previously. So it says here, so again, master strand here, it will be generating information. We'll see about this in just a moment. So step 1 here, what can you do first? Very first thing I can do after I read the first sentence here is this. I rewrite this mathematically. M is directly proportional to t squared. Then, what can I do after that? So we've learned previously that the proportional symbol, we can replace this with equal, okay? Exactly the same. We keep everything else the same. Okay, so form equation done. Then, immediately after this, the next step is we substitute. So M here is given to us as 32 equal k we're trying to find multiplied by t, the value of t is 2, 2 to the power of 2. Tidy this up, gives me 4k here on the right hand side equal 32. Divide by 4 on both sides, so k would equal to 8. So again, this here is step 1. Substitution part step 2. And to get the answer here, rewrite step 1 with the k value in it. So k value is 8, so step 1 here, so m would equal 8t squared. So this is step 3. Now, what can I do? I've done that first. Have I found the k value? Yes, I have done all of that. Now, this is the key part here. Have I solved the problem? Let's go back to the question and reread it. Look what it says here at the end, the last sentence. Calculate the value of m when t is equal to 3. This means that there will be one final step here. In P1, there is a fourth step, which would be calculate the value of m when t is equal to 3. So in here, when t is equal to 3, what would the answer for m be? So we need to substitute t with 3. So step 4 here, substitute again to find value of m. So here we write when t is equal to 3. So m would equal 8 multiplied by 3 to the power of 2, which is m equal 8 multiplied by 9. Therefore, m would equal 72. And this is my final answer. Now let's go back to the question and see if we have answered it. Calculate the value of m when t is equal to 3. So when t is equal to 3, I substitute it into step 3, and the value of m would equal to 72. Next, we'll be focusing on P2, but before we focus on P2, I'd like to take us a step back to complete a prior knowledge check. Here are two questions. Pause the video now and have a go at it. Okay, so work out the value of x in the following. So x to the power of 2 equals 16. So x would equal square root of 16. Why is it square root? Because the opposite of power 2 would be square root. So opposite of power 2 is square root. Therefore, x is 4 because 4 multiplied by 4 is equal to 16. Example at the bottom. So x to the power of 3 equal 125. So x would equal cube root of 125. What does cube root of 125 means? It means a number which is multiplied by itself 3 times would give 125. So that number will be 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5 equal 125. So the cube root of 125 is 5. Okay. Now we're going to need this information to help us with P2. Here's P2. Again, very similar to what we have been doing previously. On the right hand side are our hints. And here, so m is directly proportional to t squared. So what can I do? The very first thing I can do here, I could express this mathematically. M is directly proportional to t squared. Tick. Now, for my steps, here it says how can you find a constant proportional to k? But first of all, before we do this, we have to form the equation. So immediately, it's m equal kt squared. Then, again, as normal, we substitute. When m is 32, we're trying to find k. The value of t is 2 to the power of 2. Again, on the right hand side, 4k, 32 on the left. Divide by 4 on both sides gives us k equal 8. Again, this is step 1. Substitution part is step 2. And then to get the final answer, substitute this value back into step 1, 8t squared. That is step 3. Now let's go back to the question and let's read it to see if we have answered the question. Calculate the value of t when m equals 32. Calculate the value of t when m equals 32. So here we write when m equals 32. We're trying to find the value of t. So the extra step, here step 4, we substitute back, substitute again. So there are two substitute steps. So when m equals 32, 32 equal 8t squared. We're trying to find the value of t. We divide by 8 on both sides, gives us t squared equal 4. As we've touched on here, the opposite to the power of 2 is square root. So here, to find t on its own, I have to square root 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So our final answer here is 2. Lastly, what is the same and what's different about P1 and P2? They're right next to each other, so it makes it easy for us. Again, very similar question. M is directly proportional to t squared. First sentence the same here. Second sentence is exactly the same. The only thing that's different between P1 and P2 is here, last sentence, calculate the value of m when t is equal to 3. After we do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, to get to the final answer, we simply substitute t into this, and we worked it straight away. The only difference between P2 would be, when you get to the final step, step 4, you may need to rearrange the equation before you get to the final answer. So as you can see here, I've had to divide by 8 first, and then I've had to square root it to get to the final answer. If I had t cubed, I would have to cube root it. That's the only difference. Okay, this is the end of this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it.